We heard President Trump make that case. He does give himself some wiggle room, as he has to do, Joseph McBride. It's not going to be for everybody. We understand that, and he is inclined to look at it. From what you know, is that process underway? I know a lot of defense attorneys, some congressmen are writing letters to the president, but is there any group that's been formed to get the ball rolling so maybe pardons could be issued, I don't know, on Inauguration Day?
The process is underway. It's taking place with a fair degree of secrecy right now, Greg. But when you look at the pardons and who should get them, you have to ask yourself, who was the worst actor on January 6th? And that is unequivocally the federal government and the people who were in charge at the Capitol on that day. You can't have a situation where the doors are opened and they say, come on in. You can't have a situation where the police are the initial aggressors, the initial violence takes place. It's police on citizen contact. People have a right to defend themselves, and people can walk into an open door if an officer says come in. So if it comes down to a judgment call between pardon everybody and don't pardon anybody, of course, you got to give the general pardon. My position is that most people, if not everybody, should be pardoned for their conduct on January 6th. Look, you have somebody like Richard Barnett, you know him well, old Big O Barnett, who had his feet up on Pelosi's desk. He should not have done it, but he was nonviolent. He did not have any physical contact with any officers. He was pushed into the doors, the Columbus doors. He did not go in through his own free will, and he got almost 5 years in jail at 62 years old. You can't do that in this country. It's a gross miscarriage of justice, and I sincerely hope that President Trump is going to pardon the vast majority of the people, with a few exceptions, who went to the Capitol on January 6th.
One of the images we'll never forget, we've shown it a million times on this show, that little cop waving people on a Capitol Hill. And it wasn't just this little cop. There were other cops inside just standing there waiting for people to go by, almost like they were welcoming to the Capitol. It was so weird. Bernard Kerik, the federal government, state, local law enforcement, we now know it's established that there were federal informants in that crowd dressed as Trump supporters who were in active communication with their handlers, with law enforcement. What is your overall take now on January 6th? Would you like to see a commission to find out what really happened?
Well, Greg, in addition to the president directing or granting clemency to the people involved that were convicted, I also believe that the DOJ under Trump and the FBI under Trump has to do an evaluation of what exactly the Bureau's involvement was, what they were doing there, who directed them to be there, and what was the direction from the Attorney General of the United States to the U.S. Attorney in Washington, D.C., as far as pursuing charges against people that weren't even in Washington, D.C., because somebody had a text message on their phone concerning January 6th and somebody that went to Washington. You have FBI agents showing up at their house.
Yeah.
This type of, it's like Joe said, this type of investigation and the abuses in the investigation are absurd. It's just absurd. Nowhere else in this country would this have happened.
Enrique Tarrio in Baltimore. He's the white supremacist from the Proud Boys, right? The Afro-Cuban white supremacist. All right. Bernie, stand by. Joseph McBride, good luck to you and your clients. We will be in touch in the days and weeks ahead.